Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this regularly scheduled board meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. If I could have everybody stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Let the record reflect that all board members are present. I welcome all of our guests this evening via the live stream. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please? Thank you, Mrs. Merkley.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Borg. Those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Agenda passes 5-0. There was no action taken in closed session this evening, so we're going to move along to the student board member report. And I believe that Nadia Bashir is here this evening to read for us.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent De Leon. So tonight I will be giving the report for Glendora High School first, organized into 5 A's, and then I will be giving the reports for the middle school as well as the elementary schools. So for pull the microphone down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, just get a little closer. There you go. Okay. So first, for academics, GHS offers a number of academic support opportunities for our students. On top of our office hours, GHS partners with Tutor.com and BrainFuse.com to facilitate academic support. Tutor.com is a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week online tutoring for 9th and 10th grade students. Students can access Tutor.com by visiting their Canvas page. BrainFuse.com is an online tutoring program offered through the Glendora Public Library. Our 11th and 10th grade students can access this system by attaining a library card and then visiting the Glendora Public Library's website. We appreciate the library's support and partnership. First, for activities, last week GHS hosted their first drive-through snack attack event through the Circle Drive. Miss Al-Yusuf's class was chosen as the winner, and Chick-fil-A sponsored the food to the event. Aside from the class winning a free lunch, it was nice for the students to say hi to Miss Al-Yusuf in person while driving through to pick up food. Our next activity was Where's Scotty? This is a social media activity to keep the students engaged and tied to the spirit of GHS. ASB takes pictures of Scotty at 5 different locations, and the students submit guesses of where Scotty is. If students get all 5 locations correct, their name gets entered into a raffle. Our final activity was the Big Little program. GHS is offering our students the opportunity to be a buddy to a 3rd grade student at Glendora Elementary School. The Big Little program will run all school year long, and ASB Outreach is facilitating the program. For the athletics update, the return of after-school conditioning for some of our fall activities begins today. It is exciting to get to see some of our students back on campus for athletics, arts, and activities. The performing arts update. We have developed a return timeline for our performing arts group that typically practice or rehearse after school. Virtual parent meetings have been scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings this week. These activities would be eligible to resume on October 19th. First, for access is mental health resources. In an effort to provide mental health support for our students, we have a number of options available. NAMI Healthy Minds is an excellent resource for all students. This club is especially great for students who may benefit from learning general coping skills and having the ability to cope in their everyday life. GUSD's Glendora Healthy Minds program also offers support groups through our partners at APU. Glendora Healthy Minds also offers one-on-one therapeutic services through our partnerships at no student cost. This is great for students who are having a hard time functioning with day-to-day life tasks and would benefit from having one-to-one therapy. Email lfernandez@glendora.k12.ca.us or a school counselor for a referral. Other supports include the free student yoga every Wednesday. Students can do yoga with a certified instructor via Zoom every Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday provides time and structure for students who need social, emotional support, and/or academic support. Now I will be giving the report for Sandburg Middle School. Each week, teachers recognize students who are going above and beyond during distance learning. Students are nominated for a chance to win a free Chick-fil-A lunch delivered to their doorstep. Sandberg appreciates the generosity of Chick-fil-A Azusa for donating 3 box meals each week. So far, we've awarded 18 students and 3 new recipients are selected each week. Sandberg's Club Rush took place at the end of September. 14 new interest-based clubs were introduced to allow students an opportunity to connect and socialize via Zoom. Nearly 25% of the student body registered to participate in at least one club. So far, the most popular clubs are anime, gaming, sketch, and culinary. ASB hosted a drive-through restaurant night at Chick-fil-A on September 23rd and a Juice It Up fundraiser on October 8th. ASB elections were held on October 7th, and the 2020-21 cabinet was selected. Newly elected leaders are excited to lead the ASB class as they plan for upcoming activities. Now for the report for Sutherland Elementary. Sutherland staff and students have been working so hard these past 7 weeks and are really doing a fantastic job. Last week, they celebrated some of their students at their Zoom Student of the Month Awards. There are some feelings of normalcy when we are able to continue to do some of their normal school activities. We are very proud of the teachers and staff who have dedicated to distance learning, and we are proud of the students who have been putting forth their best efforts. Now I will do the report for Stanton Elementary School. They have held their first visual and performing arts night with a virtual karaoke party called Zoomioke. PTA is busy working on their membership drive using Totem. It's easy to join online and anyone can do it. They held their monthly Spirit Day virtually, and their 5th graders led their cheers. Mr. Gomez put together a great video for it. Kind Kids Club and Good News Club have begun virtually. Regarding school progress and professional development, progress reports went home in the mail indicating for parent areas that students need to improve on, including engagement in distance learning, completion of independent work, or skill deficits. And finally, the Cullen report. Cullen has passed out over 300 Chromebooks for distance learning. Students, staff, and parents are acclimating to Canvas, new teachers and classmates, as well as life on Zoom. Cullen PTA continues to find ways to engage students. They are working on the annual fundraiser and have shifted from a move-a-thon to a groove-a-thon, and families walking the neighborhood together on an upcoming evening. They also have plans for Red Ribbon Week and assemblies by Zoom. Their most intensive needs students are getting ready to return this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Appreciate that report. Thank you.
Very nice. Woo!
All right, next we have some exciting news. A presentation to our national merit semifinalists, Brandon Gia and Lauren Morass. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you, President Reuter, trustees, Dr. De Leon, members of cabinet, distinguished guests. Always my pleasure this time of year to bring forward our national merit semifinalists. And this year we have 2. A little bit about the program first. Nadia gave us some information about this last time, but just a recap. The National Merit Scholarship Program is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships that began in 1955. 1.5 million students across the U.S. take the test annually, usually as part of the PSAT, and usually in their junior year. This year, we'll see how all of that works out with the testing. About 15,000 students nationwide each year score high enough to be considered semifinalists. They are the highest scoring entrants in each state, and they represent the top 1% of the nation's high school seniors, current seniors. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to 2 of Glendora High School's finest that have qualified for this honor. First, I'm going to tell you about Brandon Gia. Brandon is here with his family. Let me tell you about him before he comes up. It's an honor to introduce you to him. He's certainly one of the top tartans here in GUSD. He has a weighted GPA currently of 4.63. He is currently enrolled or completed 10 AP classes. He's enrolled in 4 this year. He's completed APs such as AP Physics, AP Spanish, AP Statistics. Some of those are hard to pronounce, let alone take. He previously interned 24 hours a week at Cyber Power PC. I think that's in the City of Industry. Since 2017, he's been an integral member of the GHS Leo Club. He maintained perfect attendance in grades 9 and 10. He also excels in art, and he's currently enrolled in Miss Manalo's graphic design class at Glendora High School. Brandon is yet to formalize all of his college aspirations, but he has many, and many doors are open to him. But UCLA is certainly on his list. He's interested in studying computer science. Please join me and Mr. Brummett as well, the Glendora High School principal, in congratulating Brandon Gia, our first national semifinalist. Brandon?
Congratulations. Thank you. Well done.
Say a few words.
Yep. I'll say a few words and you can say it. I'd like to personally congratulate Brandon on behalf of Glendora High School. We're so proud of him. This is an incredible accomplishment. I know that you're very familiar with the program, but it's extremely prestigious. And you know, reading Brandon's resume and going through the application process and just learning how unique and talented that Brandon is, it's no surprise that he's a semifinalist. And we're so excited to see where this journey takes him. And again, the Tartan pride is extremely high right now. We're so proud of you, and great job, Brandon. All right.
I just like to say, I may not look it, but I'm pretty happy to be here. And it's pretty embarrassing to hear all this kind of stuff about me, but thank you very much.
So impressive.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Are there any board members that would like to make comments, or I'd be happy to speak on behalf?
I just wondered if you wanted to take a picture.
Oh, we don't want everybody to come together to take a picture at the end. Okay. I would like to say, Brandon, it's a pleasure having you here this evening. You represent Glendora Unified School District very well, and we are very proud of you and proud to have you representing us. And congratulations on your hard work getting to this point, and we hope that you go along in the process, and we wish you all the best. You want to go take a quick picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo! I also heard about the meal club at Glendora High School, and I'm really happy that you're doing that. Thank you. All right, congratulations. You know, we would do all the hands.
Right here, this start show right
There
in the
you
middle.
go. There you go. Congratulations. 1, 2. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Well done.
Congratulations again to Brandon. And our second recipient, her name is Lauren Mraz. Mr. Brummett's going to see if they can come in from outside, so just give us a moment. We want to welcome Lauren Mraz and her family, our second National Merit semifinalist recipient. Let me tell you a little bit about Lauren before we have her come up. She's one of our most exceptional students in all of the Glendora Unified School District. She has a current weighted GPA of 4.76. She's currently enrolled or completed 14 AP classes. She's enrolled in 6 currently APs, including she's taken AP Computer Science and AP Calculus BC. Since 2017, Lauren has been a member of the academic decathlon team and now serves as its president. She also founded Find the Words, a speech and interview tutoring service. She volunteers at the City of Hope. Since 2018, she's the co-founder and the vice president of the Society of Women Engineers Next. She's been involved in cross-country and track for 2 years. She's an involved member of NHS, the National Honor Society. Her college aspirations include Brown University, UCLA, Stanford, and Boston University. Areas of study that interest her are psychology or psychobiology. Possible future career she's interested in as a psychologist or a professor of adolescent psychology. We welcome her parents and her family. I'm sure they're very, very proud. Lauren, congratulations. Mr. Brummett is here, the principal from Glendora High School. He'd like to say a few words as well. And Lauren, if you could come up.
Lauren, we're so proud of you at Glendora High School. This is an incredible accomplishment. Dr. DeGrazia, your resume, he could probably go on for hours. Just so impressive. Your family has to be so proud. As a father of daughters, to hear what you're accomplishing for females in engineering and all that you're doing just for our school itself is just so incredible. You truly have a passion for getting better every day at whatever your passion is in education, and that's going to help you grow and take your talents to new heights at the next level. So wherever that may be, whatever prestigious university on that list that we just heard, we're so excited to see where it takes you. And again, this award is absolutely the pinnacle of achievement, and we're so proud of you for what you've done. Tartan Pride, great job, Lauren. So this is from Glendora High School, and this is certificate, and then you can say a few words if you want.
Hi, I just want to say thank you to all my teachers and all the staff, especially Ms. Hargrove, everybody who just helped me in like my education, and then also my family, like my mom, my dad, and then my little sister, Sammy. Thank you.
On behalf of the board, Lauren, I think we can all just say, wow. You make us very proud. You're representing Glendora Unified High School, Glendora Unified School District and Glendora High School, the best that we could ever hope and dream for. Congratulations to you for your hard work paying off with this accomplishment. Congratulations to your parents and your family for being there and supporting you and nurturing your passions that way. Your future seems very bright, and we congratulate you. Dr. DeLeon and I are going to come down and take a picture, a socially distanced picture with you.
Congratulations. Way to go. So proud of you. So impressed. Oh my Lord. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Well done.
That is a tough act to follow, but we will try. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
All righty. Thank you, President Reuter, trustees, audience, community, everybody who's out there. I have a very, very short superintendent's report tonight because I want to leave plenty of time to talk about our small cohort return to school. But I do want to make sure that the community does know that we have applied for the TK2 waiver application. We've submitted a waiver application for each one of our elementary schools, and what that is for if it's approved, which we don't know when that may happen, it could be weeks from now, we would have the ability to bring back students in grades TK through 2 in small cohorts of no more than 12 students to adults into our elementary schools for in-person instruction. Because of the small cohort, again, you'll hear more about that in our next presentation, but because of the small cohorting, that would be a hybrid model. So they would not be able to come back every day because we simply could not fit all of the kids in the classroom with social distancing. And plus we have to keep the cohort number. So if it happens, we would come back in a hybrid model where some students would be at home and others would be in person, and then they would switch off. So it would likely be something, and I know our logistics and scheduling committee will go into this in great detail as we go, but it would be something like cohort A would come in on Monday and Tuesday in person, while cohort B is at home receiving remote instruction. Wednesday would be our cleaning day. We have to deeply sanitize every classroom before we return. And then Thursday, Friday would be cohort B's turn to come in and be in person. And that's kind of how that schedule would look in our minds. Also, we do intend to give parents the option of keeping their students home if they so choose and they don't feel ready when it's time. Again, we have no timeline for this. The way the TK2 waiver works is that 30 schools every week, 30 individual schools, not districts, individual schools every week in each supervisor's district. So we're Catherine Barger, District 5, which stretches up to Antelope Valley. It goes also west of here, Azusa, and that whole area. So 30 schools a week will be reviewed. We have no idea where we would be, although they are taking the applications in order of highest poverty, highest free and reduced lunch percentage, down to the lowest. I think we might have a school or two that would fall somewhere in the middle of that group. But again, there's really we have no way to predict how long that approval or review process would be. So in any case, I did want to give everybody an update and let them know that we have submitted for every school. In fact, I know for a fact that we were the first district in Supervisor Barger's to apply for that. We applied the day the application opened. But again, we don't know how long that will be. But in the meantime, that gives us plenty of time to ensure all the safety, equipment protocols, cleaning protocols are in place for the return of those students. And we will bring back our first cohort actually next Monday, which is, if you don't mind, my segue into our staff report, which will be given at this time by our wonderful Executive Director of Special Education, Mr. Paul Lopez, and he has a presentation for you tonight.
I'll go ahead and walk my computer up here.
One second before you start, I do need to ask if there are any questions about TK2 before you begin with your next small cohort report. No? All right. Mr. Lopez, please. Thank you.
President Reuter, trustees, Superintendent De Leon, members of cabinet, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to come here tonight and talk to you a little bit about our small cohort return. I know we never saw the light at the end of the tunnel. At least I was thinking there isn't any light at the end of the tunnel. It is coming. And so happy to get students coming back to campuses, being assessed, getting their services brought to them so that we can mitigate that learning loss for our students in the Glendora Unified School District. So I'm just going to I'll go over some slides. I'm going to give you some numbers as we move along. First of all, I got to give kudos to all of our DIS providers, our psychologists who, when I presented them the opportunity to develop safety protocols and the informed consent for our parents and our students, they took on this challenge and they did it. They nailed it every step of the way. They put very detailed protocols in place and had the informed consent ready to go for our parents. Anybody else that's providing services, and you see them there, our speech and language pathologist, our occupational therapist, our adaptive PE teachers, all of our SELPA DIS providers, because we do have services provided by the SELPA, as in our autism program and some of our moderate to severe or severely handicapped students. Our classified staff, and our program specialist. I can't say enough about our program specialist who actually went through all of the data and all of the calls that our education specialists made, and they compiled all that data so that we are where we are today. So they were all great, all did a fabulous job of making sure that all of our safety procedures were in place and that we were ready to go when it came that time. I still can't believe it's here. So, so how did we get here? You've heard this before. All summer long, we're meeting in our Learning Redesign coalitions. We're in our subcommittees. We're looking at transportation with the SELPA, which is something we had to get them those numbers today so they could start setting that up for students that need to be transported to the different campuses. Our nurses and our health clerks. Everybody that was here, safety committee, all summer long meeting to make sure that we had the appropriate PPE in place and that we were doing the right things to keep our students safe and our staff safe. And our food services, you can't say enough about our food services. Right, they're providing meals every day for our families in our community, and that will continue as we move along. Maintenance and operations and purchasing. Purchasing it seems like every day here comes we're spending a lot of money. So, but you know what? You have to make it work for our students. TSEA, GTA, you can't make this work without negotiations, right? So we had to put that in place. And the tireless support and feedback from our site administrators, and then our supportive relationships that we have with our community at large. Phase 1, reopening. So let's look at our preschool program, and the numbers are right in front of you. 90% of our preschool kids want to come back, and that was outstanding. So when you call those parents and they're saying, yeah, I need to get my student back in school so that they can get those services and those assessments as they need. And you'll see that it's 6 students to 3 adults. So we have 1 to 2. So we can continue to help those students grow as we move along. Looking at our elementary cohorts, 80% of the students in Miss Chesler's and Miss Pussman's classes, okay, are coming back to school. They want to be. They wanted to be there. They want to make sure that they're getting that education. You'll notice that Mrs. Pussman's class, 12 students to 7 adults. That's 19. That's above the number 14 we can use. So we're going to split that with 2 cohorts, and we're going to bring in. However, that been working with Dr. DeGrazia on that plan. How we put that in place? Do we have a substitute, or what is that? Do we have another ed specialist that can take over that other cohort? Sellers ASD, now that's our autism program at Sellers. That's our elementary autism. That is a CELPR provider program. 50% are returning, and 50% would be on distance learning. So you'll see the numbers are there. Stanton, 75%, and that's Ms. Fandalor's class. 11 students to 3 adults, right on the number, so they'll have 1 class, where we were lucky there. And Sutherland returning 42%. And again, autistic kids, intensive needs students that are returning. And you see the numbers there in the ratios, 6 students to 4 adults and 3 to 2. Now jumping to our middle school, the Goddard ASD program, 59% returning. Ms. Hodeggy, 4 students to 3 adults, and Mrs. Martinez, 6 students to 3 adults. And Sandberg, Mr. Acevedo's class, 2 students to 5 adults. Intense class though, right? So it's an intense class. And I would imagine as we start moving along and things are going well, we'll get more people that'll want to come back, to school. Glendora High School, Damian Riggs, which is our 9-12 mod severe intensive needs class, 11 students to 4 adults. That takes us one person over, so we've got to split that into a couple of cohorts. The good thing about that is she's one of our back portables, and we can put her classes right next to each other, and there's 2 inside doors that go between the 2. That's great. Lauren Kirkendall, this is adult transition now. We're looking at our adult transition program, 9 students to 5 adults. Mr. David Romero, 12 students to 6 adults. So 70% of our adult transition students are coming back. And generally with the adult transition program, they do a lot of CBI, which is our community-based instruction. They can't do that right now. So they will be doing a lot of functional academics while they're in the classroom. So that's what they will be focusing on while they're back. David Andrek, 6 students for 4 adults, and Teresa Tolkien, 4 students for 3 adults. That is our high school autism program, our ASD program. Again, another self-provider program with 51% returning. The phase 2 reopening. Now, I chose this picture because that's what it feels like, right? We're on this rickety bridge. Are we gonna get to the other side? Absolutely, we're gonna get there, right? With the hard work that we put in and all the protocols that we put in for everybody, we'll get there. And our people will do a fabulous job in getting us there. So here we are, next steps. So elementary principals, I know, had a meeting this afternoon talking about all the protocols, all the procedures to put in place, parent meetings, all the different things that have to happen before next Monday and those students start coming back. Secondary principals will meet tomorrow for the same reason. We have to make sure that everybody is notified. Like I said, parent orientations will be put in place to detail everything that's happening in the classroom and all the safety protocols. Plus, I think the bus companies are already reaching out to our students who require busing. So they are starting to reach out already because they have to build those routes and make sure that we have those in place. Staff training, because you can't just train the parents, right? We got to train the staff specific to mask wearing and all the safety measures that we have, whether it means cleaning the plexiglass after that assessment, changing out the gloves. We went even so far, and with some of our providers, they said they need a trash can with a lid, so when they throw away stuff, if the trash can falls over, that nothing spills out. They'll be wearing gowns. It depends what services they have with occupational therapists and adaptive PE. They're more active, right? So they may have to touch students, or they want to make sure that they're safe, though. So they have gowns and they have gloves and masks. And the ongoing support we're going to get from the custodial staff, our health clerks, our nurse Sonia, who's been awesome, site administration, and the safety committee. So all those things have to be ready to go for next week. And I know it feels like we're running, but you know what? We've got to get there. So why not? Why not jump in and go, right? We got to go at some point. So that's kind of where we are right now. And I thank you, and questions or comments, welcome. I'm sure there's probably none about the reopening of school, right? The reopening of assessments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez. This is a very helpful presentation for me. I'm going to ask if any other board members have questions or comments. Yes, please, Ms. Bork. Mm-hmm.
I'll just echo the sentiments that have been given already. Thank you so much. I know the public is going to be thrilled that we're getting some of our students back, and I know it's been a long, like your bridge said, it's a long ways across, but we're making it, and it has a lot to do with the adults in charge as well. So we appreciate all you've done.
Total team effort, I have to tell you, total team effort. And now Dr. Kelson and I, and everybody in the room has been meeting with our educators, because it's not an easy process, but thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you all.
Any other questions or comments from board members? I'd like to thank you for the specifics on these numbers to help give us some perspective of what's actually going to happen on Monday. It's telling when you have, maybe 70% at one location or 40% another, just to see what the community's reaction to sending their kids back look like right now. And so it is really helpful to see all the different numbers. It's my understanding that in this final week that before everybody goes back on Monday, that there are these safety team, site safety.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't remember the team, but could you tell us a little bit about what they're doing this week to make sure everybody feels really great about going back next week?
So I think there's a couple things going on. Number one is LA County, which you have to inform LA County so that they can come out and they can look at the sites. LA County, I believe, has contacted our principals and are setting up meetings to walk the classrooms to make sure that all of the protocols are in place. We have the 6-foot distancing, all the cleaning supplies, all the masks, everything that we have is in place. So LA County will walk. But not only that, Mr. Shaldu from the business office is setting up those visits for our teams to go out and walk those sites so that we have a clear understanding. Now, we have done that before. There's been the COVID cares team that has walked the first time. And then we had a next level where we brought back all the instructional aides and the teachers and site administration and walked the sites where we're going to open. And they had their classrooms were already set up in models for what it would look like when we came back to school. So we've already done a couple of walks. LA County will come in, and then we're going back because we want to make sure that we have everything sewn up, tied up, so that it's tight and we don't have any, it's right for our kids. There's no discrepancies anywhere.
Yeah, I really do appreciate the teachers and the aides being able to go into their classrooms and see the final, if you will, and then ask for anything else that they might feel they are going to need. Because as you suggested at the beginning, we never knew when we were going to get here. And for these folks to be the first people returning can feel a little
Yes.
nervous, overwhelming, and I appreciate the effort that everybody has put into doing everything possible, following all the protocols, all the steps, and then double checking with them to make sure that they're feeling comfortable so they're ready to go first thing on Monday. I want to thank all the teachers that have had to work with all the families and have had to get themselves ready for this moment in time as well. So all the teachers, all the aides, all the additional staff, any of the custodial staff, any of, as you mentioned, the lunch, the food services, all the people that are going to be going back to work in sort of a traditional manner, the new traditional manner on Monday. I want to thank you all for your hard work and wish you all the very best new first day possible. Again, Mr. Lopez, thank you for this thorough report. Really appreciate all the numbers and the effort that your team put into getting to where you are today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Lopez, thank you so much. Again, I reiterate what Trustee Reuter said, but I also want everybody in this room to know the sheer number of hours and meetings for months that went in to bringing this group of students who need us so much. These are students that really truthfully cannot access their education without coming back in person. And we've had a priority for bringing them back, and you and your team have worked so many hours. I know it has been a lot, because there are so many pieces to get in place, and you've done it, and I have no doubt it will be positive, and those kids will now be able to have the education we want them to have. So thank you, Mr. Lopez, so much.
Thank you.
All right, there is not a public hearing tonight, so we will move along to public input. And if I understand correctly, we'll be reading the emails first and then going to the in-person.
I think some of them are here. That's the thing.
Right.
Right.
So we have a number who have submitted written public comment who are also here.
Okay.
We also have some students who have put in cards to speak.
Okay.
And I believe that Mr. Shaldu is going to bring those students in first.
Okay, so we're gonna let everybody that's here go first, but make sure that anybody that submitted a public comment on email, they get read.
After the students, I will start with the written comment on the topic,
Okay,
okay? And anyone associated with that person.
okay.
The student first.
Okay, is he here?
Yes.
Okay, so first we'll hear from Peter Collins, a student.
Okay, Peter Collins, a student. I don't know how well you're picking up the
And
microphone.
we do need to be checking the time on the 20-minute. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Peter, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Peter Collins and I was a former student in the Glendora Unified School District. Distance learning may be safer and healthier for us, but in my opinion, it's not the best choice. As schools have noticed, people are leaving the school district to either go to private schools or out of state, which I have experienced as multiple of my friends and Glendora families have left the state. I was very reluctant to change to a private school in which I have no friends at all, but if the schools reopen, I will be able to go to Goddard, where I will be able to be with my friends. Also, doing school online is harder as students may not be able to get the resources they need to learn. During online school, I also see that many students are often distracted or not paying attention. Online learning is also very difficult and tiring as we have to sit still for hours on end without much time to move, and when we do get breaks, we are spending time eating or going to the bathroom. Thank you for letting me speak and share my opinions on this matter.
We really appreciate hearing from students. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Lane. I am a member or a resident here of Glendora. I am smiling behind the mask, so believe it or not. So,
Are we?
well, I appreciate your board's communication via the Gazette and effort to submit waivers to LA County Department of Health. Some of these questions, too, have been addressed. What we don't know is which Glendora schools the board submitted waivers for. As noted in your press release dated September 30th, it says GUSD is excited to be applying for this waiver. So which waiver was it? Was it for one school only or for the district, which they don't accept? If it was for one school, which school did the board submit the waivers for? Will returning students be full-time or hybrid model? You guys have already answered that. And in that waiver, did the GUSD labor unions agree to returning as required per the waiver application? Lastly, LA County Department of Health said they received 26 waivers within the first week of accepting waivers. Can you confirm with us that they received the waivers from Glendora Unified School District? And will you notify us immediately if we've been put on the waiting list or if the waiver was denied and for what reasons they were denied? We'll be anxiously awaiting your response. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for emailing your questions. We did receive, I'm glad that you came down here in person. It's nice to see you, but we did receive your email earlier today, and we will get back to you via email.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Detfreimer submitted by email, and he is here. However, he's deferring this time first, and if there's no remaining, then we'll stay. I appreciate that. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Madeline Dannison, and I'm a sophomore at Glendora High School. I have a younger brother and cousins at Goddard Middle School as well as at Sellers Elementary, and I've seen the effects of distance learning throughout all ages. Let me just start off by saying all of us kids who want to go back to school are having a hard time understanding what's happening with the PPE. You, the school board, have been telling us that we can't afford PPE, but then at the board meeting a few weeks ago, you were finally confronted about it. You said you have PPE and have had it since June. It seems as though you are making mine and my peers' education political. Education is not a matter to be discussed. Learning is essential, and we have paid you to give us the amazing education that GUSD offers. Distance learning is not what we are paying for. It is destroying the mental health of kids at every age and every level. The Wellness Wednesday surveys that we take at the high school are pointless. Why would we ever admit to the fact that we are struggling to some virtual questionnaire? Plus, we know that all that would happen from doing that is a parent contact. The only instance in which counselors help students who are struggling is when they were able to talk in person. Eye contact, human interaction. It's much easier to open up to someone when you can look them in the eye and know you can trust them. How are we supposed to do that virtually? Distance learning is even hard on parents. What are single parents that work 9-to-5 jobs supposed to be doing with their kids, expected to support their family by working Monday through Friday and helping their kids with school on those same days is more than any parent should have to deal with, especially when they are paying for their child to be going to school in person. It's just shocking to me that I've been hearing all of these stories of people in third world countries that are still fighting for women's rights in education, and here in California, located in the land of the free, we are being denied our right to go to school because of a pandemic that has a 99.9% chance of survival for kids our age. Orange County is open and has very few cases, and I understand that we are tied to the LA County Health Department, which has been your recent reasoning for not opening our schools, but it doesn't seem like there's very much being done to break free from that. In fact, it seems like you're going along with it.
which is truly heartbreaking to us. Seeing our childhood fade away because of your lack of effort. But putting that aside, school should be opening as something optional. I get it if you don't want to go back because you are scared, and that's okay. Stay home, do goal or continue distance. But we shouldn't be depriving every kid in Glendora of being able to see their friends and learn in person because of it. Superintendent, I know that you are new to this district, and you have no idea why Glendora is so special. So let me paint you a picture. At GHS, we have assemblies in which every class shows their pride with their chants. I was a freshman last year, and even as a freshman, I could feel the tartan spirit, the dances, sports games, and performing arts. Even hearing the bagpipes as you walk out of your class is all a part of why Glendora is so special. I'm sure you've heard about our action. I don't even need to explain why that one is so great. And I haven't even been to one yet. There are so many ways to connect, interact, and have fun. It's one of the most accepting, active, and lively places, and we are missing out on all of it. Elementary school students are missing out on the foundation of their education and the social skills they develop at this age. Other sports teams in other states are getting the advantage because they have been practicing and we haven't. With all this in mind, and putting whatever political beliefs you may have aside, I beg you to do more, because you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. We appreciate your comments.
Did we just go to the podium? Yes. Did you say one of your daughters? No, she's gonna speak. Thank you. My daughter's gonna talk. Hang on just a minute. You can take it off the speaker, okay? I'll introduce you, okay? Good evening, I'm Heidi Taggart, and like you, I am an educator. I have 24 years of experience. I hold a bachelor's degree in biological sciences, a minor in chemistry. I have a master's degree as well. I've been a site administrator, and I am entering my 24th year of teaching and learning, and just like you, I'm in this position as well. This is my daughter, Kira, and she is going to speak briefly to you about what she thinks, huh? Go for it. Okay, hold on. She wants me to pick her up.
I'll leave the microphone.
That's all right, go for it.
Hi, my name is Kira, and I want to be at school, and I want to see my friends and say hi to my new teacher.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very
Kira.
much.
We're happy to hear from you tonight. Thank you.
All right, let's go, sweetheart. Good job. Good job. All right, come on.
One more student coming. Okay.
Hi, I'm Domenica Luce, a sophomore at Glendora High School. First, I would like to describe what my experience has been with distance learning. I've never really enjoyed school. In fact, I hated waking up in the morning to go. But now, I find myself wanting nothing more than to go back. When we were going to school in person, I was doing sports, working out, eating healthy, hanging out with friends, and having a lot of fun with school activities and dances. Everyone had the greatest school spirit, and I miss that more than anything. I don't have many friends, but now I can't even see the ones I do have. Distance learning has crumbled my motivation completely, and now I don't want to do anything but lay in bed all day. I think one of the main reasons you aren't jumping to send us back to school is because of the pressure and liability, but shouldn't the well-being of these children and their education be our priority? Those who do not feel comfortable going back to school can do goal or distance learning anyways. Coming from someone who has struggled with mental health since 7th grade, it has never been so bad. The few things I had that made me forget everything, even if just for a little bit, has been stripped away. And I know it has for countless other students of all ages, and that breaks my heart. As much as it hurts me, I can only imagine how hard this is to watch as a parent and not being able to do anything to help them. I know there are many parents out there working hard to do whatever they can to help open schools again, and we hope that you will too. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your comment.
During a recent presentation put on by the board, a guest professor, although stating at the outset that she admitted that she was not familiar with our district, nevertheless went on to lecture us about questions we need to ask ourselves. Clearly you believe that self-reflection is important, so let me ask you some questions. 1, have we presented and posted the agenda and conducted the applicable particulars for every meeting this year, including making attendance possible for all as required by law? 2, if we are or have been in any way relying on the governor's orders and suspensions of law, what happens if it turns out that what you were relying on is unlawful? Did we have the ability to defy that law? By way of extreme example, if the governor suspended laws against murdering parents who object to school board policies or dereliction of duty and waste, would that be okay? Number 3, here's what I want you to ask yourselves. Am I immune from prosecution? Here's another one I want you to ask yourselves on the civil side. Can a case be brought in Los Angeles County Superior Court that would impose individual liability against me in such a way that it's not covered by insurance and any damages, costs, and attorney's fees would have to be paid for me out of my own pocket? Number 5, could a court mandate that I have to do my job and or prohibit the implementation of certain school projects? Number 6, have I done all that I can do from March 2020 until now with the singular mission of having students return to school, or have I spent that time on other matters? Number 7, until the parents of the student body demanded it, did I take any short videos and publish them, even from a cell phone, to demonstrate how school sites are being outfitted to address COVID? Has this been done? Where has it been done? When has it been done? How has it been done? Why haven't we seen that? Number 8, did I create any templates or ask any parents to write to any applicable federal, state, or local authorities or local officials? Have I written myself on a weekly basis, let's say to the governor on Mondays and to the county on Tuesdays and to any other officials on Wednesdays, and published it to the parents to let them know that I'm representing and advocating for you? And if not, why not? Have I joined with other private and public schools in their groups to reopen schools? Was I even aware that such groups existed? Number 10, what can I do from this point forward to lead and rectify anything that I've missed? Number 11, what do I anticipate will happen next? On what basis? What's the factual basis for your predictions? What are my plans for the district going forward? And how and when will I share them? Thank you.
Thank you for your public comment. That's Mr. Freeman.
We're allowed to take this off?
Yeah,
To speak?
go ahead.
Okay. All right. right, hi. My name is Ron Dannison. I don't recognize any of you, so that's probably a good thing. I have two kids I have two kids that go to Glendora Unified School District, and I was going to sit here and talk a little bit about the whole Corona thing, pandemic, but I think that's been talked to death. I think most of the parents are fed up with the school board's lack of action to get our kids back in school. But more importantly, thankfully for you guys, my kids didn't actually see this, but there's a video that's that I understand was shown to a La Fetra third grade class about police officers and reacting to people of color. And I have to tell you, being a cop for 17 years, I'm deeply offended by the fact that one of your teachers would show a video like that to a third grade class, any of our classes in the Glendora Unified School District. Do you guys have any idea how many cops and firemen and first responders live in this city? Any idea? I don't think so. I have tons of friends who are firemen, policemen, first responders. How dare our teachers implant into our children's heads that they should be concerned about their interactions with police officers. We have been highly politicized, and nobody seems to care about the people at home, including your teachers. I don't want your teachers talking about that to my kids, and I don't want them talking about politics. I have personally witnessed high school kids asking, what do you think about Trump getting the coronavirus? Or what do you think about Biden-Harris? Guess what? I don't want any of you guys telling my kids how to vote politically. So I'm not the only one that shares these concerns. You are here to educate, and that's it. Don't talk to them about politics, all right? That's gonna come in college, unfortunately. So that's all I have to say. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your public comment.
All right, good evening. Thank you. My name is Laura Hahn, so thank you for your time. I just wanted to be one more face for those who want the schools reopened. I sent an email earlier as a mother of a third grader and a first grader here at Sellers. I just wanted to convey my frontline parents' perspective of distance learning. I am witnessing the regression of my children. The first grader struggles to focus for her teacher. In-person learning was never an issue for her as far as focusing. Give her a tablet, it's not happening. Staring at a computer screen for even a short amount of time that is required for their short school day is just way too much for her developing brain. If anyone thinks that this is good for a first grader, they are kidding themselves. My third grader, as independent and as intelligent as she is not being challenged despite her teacher's best efforts. Smart kid, she's not challenged. These kids, they need in-person learning and in-person stimulation. Us parents, we need leaders on the board who recognize this, and to the extent that you guys are gonna fight for our children. Our board, our leaders, our government, they are failing these children. Please stop allowing the children of this school district to be put last behind politics, last behind other school districts in this county, last behind fears of litigation, and last behind paranoia. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening. My name is Wendy Jarvie. First, I'd like to say that I would like for these meetings to be out in the open so we can all participate. Having said that, sorry if I get emotional. This is very personal for me. My family is from Crimea, Ukraine, and we were separated when the Russians invaded. And the only reason that we are separated is because our family had to make a choice. Do we want to stay where my husband's ethnicity is persecuted and disappeared? Or do we want to take our daughter back to America so that we could have the individual freedoms and the liberty to make choices for ourselves. And right now, I feel like my choices are being taken away from me when the schools don't open and we don't have a choice to allow our kids to go back into the schools. As a parent, I would gladly sign a waiver to not hold anybody liable but myself if my kid gets sick. And if the parents that don't want their kids to be in school, I completely appreciate them and would say that they could do the online school, continue in that, and let the parents put the other kids back in school. The teachers that are worried about their risk, they can partner with the kids that are not in the school. Thank you for everybody cheering outside for the encouragement. I'll give up more of my time for someone else, but I would like to see a little more accountability and a little more transparency, because without those two things, we are no better than the Soviet Union.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Jarvis.
Oh, it's way more intimidating in person.
Less people.
You don't need to be intimidated. We're glad to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. It looks a lot further away on the screen outside. And I apologize, a lot of what I wrote has already been said, so I don't want to take up other people's time. So I'll just try to go through what hasn't been said. My name is Laura Chanelia. I worked at the school district for a lot of years. I know some of you. My daughter graduated in 2014. My son is a senior this year. And I just really want to see him back in school. There comes a time when the risk of contracting this virus is far less than the risk of staying closed. And that time is long past, when even the World Health Organization is urging the world to stop using lockdowns to control this virus. We Glendora families were given the choice of distance learning or goal, and those who don't want to go back in person could choose goal. So don't suppress the rights of the rest of us by making us stay on distance learning. Our kids need to be in school as soon as possible, and the science and the numbers that everyone tells us we need to follow are in support of that happening. The emotional and mental health of our children is suffering irreparably in many cases. The odds of catching COVID is already small, but the odds of recovering, if a person catches it, is over 99% for most, if I'm not mistaken. The last I heard, there were no children here in Glendora hospitalized with COVID. However, there are children in this town who are being hospitalized due to suicide attempts and threats directly related to this absurd lockdown. And again, recovery from COVID is very likely. Recovery from suicide is impossible, of course. We need to get our kids back in school, so we want you to work with us to make this happen. Lead the way. Many of us moved into this town because of this school district. Please don't be the reason why many of us move out. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Chanelia.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to do that.
Hello, my name is Melanie Myers. I'm here for my kids and for all of the kids who want to return to school. We have been patient. We trusted you to do the right thing for our children. We have waited for you to step up and be the leaders we have elected. Now the time has come for you to start fighting for our children. Tell the governor that GUSD wants to open in-person learning now. Ensure that our schools are prepared when that day comes. Request waivers. Whatever you can do, do it. Do what is right for our children because their physical and mental health are suffering on so many levels. As far as the video, something happened in our town. As a wife of a police officer, I am honestly offended. that parents were not notified that this was going to be played for those third graders at La Fetra. I am honestly in shock. I can't believe it. We moved here for Glendora School District, and I cannot believe what is happening here. It's so sad to so many. People are leaving our schools. People are moving away. Finally, in regards to our superintendent, it is my belief that she is unprofessional and creating a toxic environment in our school district. She does not have our children's best interests as a priority. She is not a good fit for Glendora and our community, and our children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Myers.
Sorry. Good evening once again. I'm not going to read the email statement that I sent. I wrote that on behalf of my husband and myself. But what I am going to ask is a couple of different questions because a lot of these topics have been hit. Once again, I'm Heidi Taggart, and I already gave you my credentials. And what I'm curious about is the learning platforms. As we look back in time, and I've gone through the board minutes and meetings, I haven't memorized everything. However, I am questioning some of the things that we're doing in this district. Why did we go with Canvas? How was that established as the best way to go? Knowing that it's hard to use for the elementary school kids. I have a first grader and a fourth grader. One teacher's using Canvas, one teacher's using Google Classroom. The teachers were familiar with Google Classroom last year as they started that during distance learning. So I'm wondering why the school board and the district went a totally different direction. Why did we choose Canvas? Why did we stick with the Google platform that everybody knew? It makes it really hard as a parent of elementary school kids who is working from home to help them navigate the technology. That is not okay. I am spending more of my day working with them and photocopying or taking pictures of their assignments and submitting it and trying to figure out why the platforms don't work. In addition to that, I don't see a lesson delivery platform that is working well for our students. I'm sorry, but asynchronous instruction is not the teacher lecturing for an hour and a half at a time. This is not okay. And those of you that are in public education in general know that this is not okay and this is not how an online class is conducted. Proper online instruction is not the teacher lecturing to the students for an hour and a half plus. They don't learn that way. They have multiple modes of instruction. We have all kinds of different ways to learn, and they are not all the same type of learner. With that, there are many things we could have done differently. And training our educators is another one. My district, just as yours, did not prepare people. And then we take things and we change it at the last minute, and everybody's unprepared. That being said, we need to do a better job with our teachers, with our staff, and with our students. And we don't need to handicap them from the beginning. This is not about me, it's about my child and their learning and everyone else's child and their learning. And we need to make sure it's done well and done properly for the betterment of our community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Taggart. I understand that there are no more comments from people here that are here in person. Do we have any additional comments that came through? So everybody that submitted an email comment was able to speak with us this evening. Okay, thank you very much. That concludes the public input section of this board meeting. Thank you. We are going to move on to our discussion action items. Action item number 1, revision of AR 6158 on independent study first reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Merkley.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ellenson. Dr. Kelson?
Yes, thank you very much. This is...
Why don't you come to the microphone?
Thank you. Thank you, trustees, and good evening, Superintendent De Leon and esteemed community. The first reading of the board policy on independent study is being presented to you this evening in order to reflect changes due to our Glendora Online Academy of Learning, as well as recent adjustments to California Education Code since the last time the policy was presented.
Does anybody have any questions?
So this is first reading. Do we vote on it now, or did you want to just receive our input on it and then bring it back for second reading?
If there are no questions or concerns about it, we would appreciate us waiving the second reading and being able to approve it tonight, if that be the will of the board.
Do we need to remove?
Yeah, we would need a new.
So I need a new
motion.
motion to approve the final approval of the reading.
To waive the second reading and have final approval of the.
May I have a motion to waive the second reading and have final approval of AR 6158 on independent study?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Don't go far, Dr. Kelson. Number 2, revision of board policy 1114, district-sponsored social media, first reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ellenson.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Fernando. Dr. Kelson.
Thank you once again. This policy is being presented as a revision based on updated legal guidance from District Council specific to the many laws and guidelines that exist, while also preserving transparency with our community wherever possible, putting a positive face forward in a student-friendly manner to represent the district and our schools.
May I assume that you would like the motion to pass as the previous one, where as long as there aren't any questions or concerns, we would be approving this as a final?
And waiving the second reading.
And waiving the second. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this action item?
I just clarifying question. This is board policy and add ARs as well, administrative regs?
Yes.
Correct.
I move that we waive second reading and adopt this board policy.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0 unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kelson.
Thank you, Dr. Kelson. Action item number 3, approve the proposal to upgrade Wi-Fi infrastructure to enhance security and support classroom devices as presented. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Fernando.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Merkley. Mr. Shall Do. People are excited to hear about this.
Whew, yes, good evening. So this is a proposal to upgrade our Wi-Fi system across the district. This is a complete, I don't want to say complete, so this is an add-on or an addition to our current Wi-Fi system along with Cisco systems. Background is that we did upgrade our infrastructure roughly 3 years ago. Which provided us a good amount of Wi-Fi technology. However, over the past 3 years, we've also added quite a few devices. And during that time with the upgrade, we also fine-tuned some of our software in order to support that. And in doing so, we've noticed that there were some weak spots on certain campuses. Virtually all of them, truthfully. With our current plans of going one-to-one with our students in the future, we're going to need this upgrade in order to support a robust system such as that. So we have 3,600 additional Chromebooks, and those will be used in the classroom coming early next year, scheduled to come. So what this entails is there's several switches involved that will be helping with adding the additional Wi-Fi access points. There's estimated to be 150 access points included with this. And one of the largest expenditures is a firewall. So the firewall is really the safety and security of our internet, our network, and our bandwidth that comes in and goes out in order to support really just the infrastructure that we currently have in place. So the total amount of this proposal is $744,764.27. That will be paid with a combination of both CARES Act funds, those one-time funds that came on, as well as some capital facilities funds that we've set aside for infrastructure and/or capital projects which qualify as this.
Thank you, Mr. Shaldu.
You're welcome.
I'll ask for any questions or comments from the board.
Thank you, President Reuter. Put my glasses on. I have a question because it's a lot of stuff that I didn't understand, so I kind of consulted somebody who does. And the question came up about, think of it as a warranty kind of a question. When NIC's done with everything and they're gone, what are they still going to be there around for troubleshooting or problems?
Part of this contract includes, and I can get you the specificity, but for now, the general piece of it includes the support of installing, and I believe that there is a 1-year warranty on the equipment that they've installed, as well as the work and the labor. However, beyond that, Cisco provides additional warranties with the devices that they install, which go above and beyond that 1 year. There's also some licensing that goes with it, which offers additional support. But if you want to know specifically warranties for per device or per labor or anything else, I can definitely get back to you on that.
And I was also concerned about the 2 hours of remote support per campus. It just seems a little bit inadequate, especially for a school district. 2 hours doesn't give us much time.
Okay.
With their support. So
Yep.
I just wonder if that's something that could still be negotiated.
It's something that we can always work on them about that, and I'm sure in the past they've been a little more flexible if one site needs more, but we can definitely narrow down exactly what that support is going to be.
Okay, because it's a lot of money, and I know we need it. I'm not arguing that. I just want to make sure we get the best for our price, our cost, our spending.
Absolutely.
So if this were to get approved, we could still negotiate if we found holes in the.
So that the dollar amount tonight is what we're approving. So if we were to renegotiate and the price would go up, we would come back to the board for that. But
okay, thank you.
What we'll try to do is keep that amount the same and then renegotiate with any of the labor or warranties or their support pieces included with that.
Thank you. Those were the two things I wanted to talk about.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments right now? I think Dr. DeLeon would like to add something.
Yes, I do want to make sure that I bring to the public and the board's attention that there is a very strict timeline on this that we have negotiated. It is critical that the Wi-Fi infrastructure be improved, beginning with Glendora High School. When we come back in hybrid, which I assume will be at some point soon, hopefully. There will be a minimum of 1,500 student computers and probably about 150 to 200 adult computers being used every day at the same time. And that's what the problem is that if it's at the same time, we have to have the capacity because we likely have a lot of bandwidth. But when you have inadequate WAPs or wireless access points, it's like taking all this bandwidth and putting it through a very, very small opening. And then what that does is it causes about a 20 to 30 minute delay at times, right? For our kids to be able to get on, and we can't waste that kind of instructional time. So for us to be able to come back and successfully implement a hybrid situation as soon as we can, and we will be ready. We have given them the deadline, and they said that they believe that they could absolutely have this done by November 1st. That's what we're shooting for the first phase of it, which is Glendora High classrooms and offices, which at this point, you can't even turn on one computer in some areas of Glendora High School. So it is a rush, and I wanted this board to know that we have set some very, very clear timelines for them, and they have agreed to meet those. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions or comments at this time? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Our final discussion action item of the evening, approve the settlement agreement for OAH case number 20200700250. I'd just like to make a note that the action item is labeled as number 2, but it should be number 4. Just a little typo on that, but case number 20200700250. May I have a motion? Thank you, Dr. Fernando.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Merkley. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Move on to our consent items. Before I ask for a blanket motion of all consent items, are there any consent items that a board member would like to pull for individual conversation? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion, a blanket motion of all consent items, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ellenson. Thank you, Dr. Fernando. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The consent item blanket motion passes 5-0. I'll now ask for comments from members of the Board of Education, and I'll start with Vice President Borg, please.
Thank you very much. I would like to just thank all the public for coming out tonight and sharing their feelings with us. And I also want to talk about the Glendora GUSD Gazette. We are on our second volume of it this week, and it's just full with information. I encourage anyone to go on the website and seek it out and check out the links that are there. I spent about an hour and a half on it earlier today, just getting used to going on the links and everything. One thing that popped out to me was the Turkey Trot Challenge. It's a district-wide challenge, and if you know, there's lots of information on the website about it, but you have until October 14th to register, and it's either a 1 mile or a 5K walk run that you can do anytime you want. So it's not something, we're not collecting money, we're not asking for, it's not a fundraiser. It's just a fun family thing to do. So I hope people read the information on the website and take part in it if you're interested. I also would like to encourage everyone to make a plan to vote. And if that's political, then so be it. But just get out there and exercise your right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Borg. Next, Mrs. Markley, please.
I would just like to talk about Glendora Community Coordinating Council. Today we gave the Tim Crowther Youth Recognition Award to Mihar Anand. He created Fruitfully Yours when he was a freshman, so about 3 years ago. There, maybe that will help. And he is an amazing young man. I think his GPA was like 4.7, National Honor Society. Plays varsity tennis. I think he said he was #1 in this area. Lions Club, does all kinds of fun and exciting things. So I'd like to congratulate him. Also, Carlos Mayan for the Humanitarian Service Award. He is the owner of Chick-fil-A in Glendora and Azusa, and he is so supportive. I mean, in just the school reports today, 3 times he was mentioned that he donates. I can't remember how many times just this school year already that on Tuesday nights, Chick-fil-A, 20% of the proceeds, if you mentioned the school district, went to the Glendora Education Foundation. I mean, you don't even have to cook that night. Anyway, I know that at PTA he's donated lunches. He's donated lunches for teachers. Anyway, just an amazing man. So I wanted to congratulate him. Also, as I've been out walking on Wellness Wednesdays, I've seen a lot of families out walking. So it was really, I think that's just really cool to see them out going. Things are great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Merkley. Dr. Fernando? Thank you. Mr. Ellenson?
No comment.
Okay, thank you very much. I will just again reiterate my appreciation for all of our special education teachers, aides, support staff, principals, district office staff, everybody who's gotten us to a pretty momentous point in this 2020-2021 school year, where we are going to very gladly welcome a portion of our population of students back to school on Monday. So I again want to thank everybody and wish them a best first day. And looking forward to more progress in that direction. Although Mr. Lopez had the bridge to nowhere, we're moving forward all the time, and I look forward to being able to increase those numbers as we are permitted to do so. So again, thank you to the families for trusting us with your students, bringing them back and keeping them safe in this current environment. And I think that's all for right now. Thank you very much. With that, may I have a motion for adjournment?
In the honor of.
Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. I just was caught up. I beg your pardon. Tonight, I'd like to ask for a motion for this night's, excuse me. I'd like to ask for an adjournment in memory of Todd Hill, GHS school psychologist, most recently. He has spent many years as a program specialist here in Glendora Unified School District. He was a GHS counselor for many years. He's been with us for almost 25 years here in Glendora Unified School District, and over that, many over that as an educator. Our thoughts go out to Todd's family, and I'd like to ask for this meeting adjournment in his honor, please.
As Mr. Hill was my counselor at Glendora High School, I'd be happy to move this forward.
Thank you, Mr. Allenson.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Merkley. My computer shut off. Can somebody tell me the exact time?
8:27.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0, and we are adjourned at 8:27 p.m.
Thank you so much.